Now, our Leah Shields has more on the effects of those protests.
It's cleanup day in downtown Jacksonville after a weekend of protests, some turning violent. At the Supervisor of Elections office, they sustained a lot of damage, including spray paint on their security cameras. Crews have been able to wipe off the spray paint. The Duval County Supervisor of Elections, Mike Hogan, says the vandals were caught on camera before they finished the job. He's working with JSO to identify the two people he says did this. Businesses across downtown Jacksonville are dealing with broken windows and spray paint. Some of the cleanup started Sunday morning. Video from Saturday night's protest shows someone smashing the window of a JSO car. Crowds starting to get rowdy. Sunday, the protest was mostly peaceful, although JSO was arresting some protesters. We know at least 22 people from age 18 to 80 were arrested this weekend for unlawful assembly. After a weekend of protests, the courthouse lawn is torn up with tire tracks. We know officers were chasing two motorcycles at high speed Sunday night after curfew. We don't know yet how the destruction will impact businesses already hurting from coronavirus closures. The damage at the Supervisor of Elections office was so bad, Hogan closed walk-in services Monday in order to make repairs. There's only a door frame left after Saturday night's protest, and the Supervisor of Elections tells me he doesn't think the door will be fixed by tomorrow, but the office will be open. In downtown Jax, Leah Shields, First Coast News on your side.